Welcome to episode 21 of Brand Storytelling Prompts. Today we're going to be talking about the everyday customer. This is going to be kind of fun because I'm going to share with you some of my everyday customers and the characters that I've assigned and given identities to help shape some of my own stories. So today's prompt is: think about your ordinary everyday customer. What are some of their frustrations? What is their story? Or could you assign a character identity to that type of customer? So in some of my stories, I talk about two characters. I have a male and a female named Jane and Oliver. Jane and Oliver are completely fictional characters that help me shape stories and create a narrative. And I don't know how I came up with Jane and Oliver. I think I was just writing one day and I was searching for a female name and I was searching for a male name, and I was like, Jane and Oliver. Here we go. So Jane and Oliver have multiple frustrations. They are budding entrepreneurs, getting started. They left corporate careers, each of them, and are pursuing their passion in blogging. And sailing the tides of entrepreneurship, as difficult as it can be. So Jane and Oliver have separate issues. Each of them have their own niche and own set of problems. And they often experience frustrations in terms of impatience and being able to grow. So I've given them kind of some personalities behind the scenes and certain emotions, and Jane tends to be a little bit more impatient than Oliver, and Oliver is more studious and willing to learn, and Jane just kind of wants everything to happen now, which I think speaks to a lot of different blogging entrepreneur type personalities. Like, you want results now, like yesterday. Whereas Oliver's a little bit different. He's willing to put in the time and patience and has a willingness to learn. So Jane and Oliver couldn't be more different as far as like time constraints are concerned. But they both have the same goal, right? And they have the same challenge. It's just they approach them a little bit differently. And I think that having Jane and Oliver as my fictional characters, it kind of helps speak to different personalities and expectations of timeline, because time is a limited and precious resource. And some of us are willing to put in time, and some of us just need things to happen more quickly. So Jane is a little bit more, she's willing to have somebody do it for her. She's willing to invest. Whereas Oliver is willing to invest in learning, and he doesn't care that it's going to take longer. He wants to understand the process. So that kind of speaks to service versus, like online digital products where you can learn things on your own at your own speed, whereas Jane will just pay somebody. So that kind of works. And I use these fictional characters to kind of carry out different stories that fit the narrative in some of my funnels. So I always talk about Jane and Oliver. You can develop fictional characters too, and it's kind of fun if you are consistent, because you start conditioning your reader to understand, like, oh, it's Jane and Oliver again. What is Jane up to? And they almost become like part of your brand. And it's kind of fun to bring the characters out, like Oliver, like really messed up yesterday. And you can have a good laugh about some of their experiences and carry this story onward. And it's kind of fun, and it's entertaining. So I would invite you to develop fictional characters of your own and have them be part of your brand, because it can be kind of fun. So they all have their different emotions and frustrations, but they, generally they have the same goal. So try to pick out personality traits or frustrations or moments of anger that might resonate with your customer avatar sheets. And you can get started with telling that story there, because I think it represents your everyday kind of customer who's, searching for a solution, but they might have different expectations on how that happens, but they might share the same goal. So I've got some links in the description for you to check out. There are some free resources there. Otherwise, you can check out my shop. I've got some great downloadable products in there too. I would love to have you as a customer. And then also, thank you so much for being here and watching. I appreciate your attention. And hopefully this video has been worthy of your time to kind of give you some ideas on how you can incorporate characters into your stories to fit a certain narrative or explain a certain situation. It's particularly fitting when you can't talk about specific customers, either because of non-disclosure agreements or if you don't have a huge customer base yet. But don't worry, you'll get there. Anyway, thank you so much for being here. Give the video a like if you can, and subscribe to the channel so you get more brand storytelling prompts. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.